Grand National on Saturday, and they've been accused of contributing to the fact that there were three deaths more than usual at this year's meeting. So police officers arrested 118 people after scores of activists climbed fences. At least two fixed themselves to a jump using glue and lock-on devices, according to Animal Rising. Now, Hill 16 died after falling at the first fence, and his trainer Sandy Thompson said the later start was partly to blame. Joining me now is Alex Lockwood, who's a spokesperson for Animal Rising, and Brendan Powell, who's a racing trainer and who won the Grand National when he was a jockey. Great stuff, both of you. Thank you very, very much. Right, look, I'll start with you, Brendan. Why not? Look, do you think that Animal Rising was to blame for the horses' deaths, or is it the fact that they were being raced, really?
No, I'm not going to blame Animal Rising for the death of the horse. And I mean, who knows? Basically, I was there, and the start was delayed for a good 11 minutes. And I think what's happened, especially the likes of Hill 16 and Sandy Thompson correctly said that his horse got upset. But usually there's a parade before the race. The horses are taken down slowly. They're walked around the start. They're kept as calm as possible. But because of the delay, which was caused by Animal Rising, the horses had to go down to the start, leave the paddock quickly, get down to the start quickly, and actually the start was very, very quick. Okay. And I just think the horses, rather than go down there and be relaxed, they were quite. Okay. A few of them would get quite upset.
Well, look, I can absolutely buy that horses' routine was maybe ruined a little bit, and that may have contributed to the idea that they've missed a jump, hit a fence, and whatever has unfortunately happened after that. But Alex, I'll bring you into it now. Alex Lockwood, who is the spokesperson for Animal Rising. How do you respond to that? At least one trainer has come out and basically literally blamed you guys for the deaths of the horses.
Yeah. We completely disagree with that, obviously. We weren't there in 2019 when Up for Review fell and died at the first fence, breaking the neck. We weren't there when Dark Raven died at the 3 o'clock race on that day, and we weren't there when Envoy Special died on the first day of entry, and nor have we been present for the other 47 deaths this year on the tracks. We were there to stop the harm, and the reason why the harm happened, and the reason why Hill 16 died, was because they ran the race. And the reason why they ran the race was because millions of pounds were bet on it, because it's a national institution, and they did not want to see it stopped. And what we would actually say is, that we know the jockeys and trainers have great relationships with their horses. If they knew the horse was spooked, I know Hill 16 had surgery quite recently, then they needed to pull that horse from the race. OK, well, look,
how do you respond to that, Brendan? The only reason, essentially, horse racing is cruel. And the only reason that we continue with this practice is because people bet loads of money on it and people stand to make loads of money on it.
Look, it's a massive industry, and it's been going on for centuries now. I mean, there's 20,000 horses race every single year. They're looked after with the best care and attention by over 6,000 staff. Anybody can go to the yard. They've got a national racehorse week in September, and I suggest Alex and the likes of them go down and see how these horses are looked after. There's over 60,000 thoroughbreds in Britain alone. We stop racing. What do we do with those?
OK, well, this is actually the perfect next question, really, I think. And I'll bring you in, Alex. I mean, these horses wouldn't exist if it wasn't for racing. So would you be happy for there to be fewer animals in the world as a result of this? You must be able to understand why some people would say that's slightly self-defeating for Animal Rising.
Yeah, for us, it's not a numbers issue, it's a moral issue. We would rather we do not want to breed and force animals into a life of suffering in this country. What we want is actually to free up nature, let nature recover.
Just on that, because I think that's a really interesting point. Now, some human beings' lives are incredibly difficult and terrible, actually, to a large extent, OK? But there's always the glimmer of hope as long as you're right. There are things that we enjoy. So somebody who works in a job that they hate for no money, really, lives in poverty, has a terrible domestic relationship, still might enjoy Christmas or have the odd holiday that they enjoy. Something. You take my point here. And by your logic, would their lives not be worth living because the majority of it is a bit miserable?
their lives are worth living, of course, and the horses' lives are worth living, all of those who currently are alive. The races are not the only problem. We have worked with vets. We have done our research on this. Of course we have. We know that 80% of race horses in training have stomach ulcers because it's incredibly stressful. We know that horses do not want to be kept for 22 hours a day on their own in a stable. They're pack animals. They want to run together. So a fifth of all animals, or all horses, exhibit pathology such as weaving. It's not a good life. What we're asking for is exactly what we're saying. We believe we're the animal's glimmer of hope because what we want is industries where relationships with animals where we can love them but not harm them.
OK, Brendan, I'll just give the final word to you very quickly, Brendan, on this. Then, look, do you think that horse racing is at its day, actually, in the modern world?
No, absolutely not. I think it's a great industry. It's run by the Jockey Club and British Racing, who do a great job, and the horses are well looked after. And as I said, I invite Alex to go to a stable one day because he obviously has never been before, and there's plenty of trainers will actually let him go in.
Have you been to a stable before?
Yes.
Okay, and would you be willing to go again?
Of course. This is all about having a national conversation and a dialogue where we can find solutions together.
OK, and just quickly, when's the next process?
We will be holding a summer of campaign actions.
And I believe the jump season is finishing soon, so you're still going to campaign against the flat?
We're campaigning against a whole number of sort of sporting events.
A whole number of sporting events? Go on.
It's going to be big this summer. We're making a real statement for animals this year, and we're trying to build a mass movement to change our relationship with animals.
OK, and I presume you're going to involve things like greyhounds and stuff, are you?
We're going to organise a whole campaign of events this summer.
OK, all right. I wish I had more time with you. OK, all right. Look, thank you very much, both of you. Alex Lockwood there is the spokesperson for Animal Rising, and Brendan Powell, who's a racing trainer who won the Grand National when he was a